What's up, guys? It is Zero here, bringing you all a brand new episode of Horror Theory. Welcome, everyone, to Horror Theory, the best horror-related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome everybody to Horror Theory. I'm really excited about our show here today. I've got a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about. Some things are gonna certainly, gonna be within the world of horror gaming, right? I definitely want to talk about things within the world of horror. We're also going to talk about a couple other things. As you guys know, I've got two other channels outside of Horror Theory. We've got my personal channel, Animal Zero, and We're Animal, which is our team channel. And we have been creating a ton of content on all fronts, guys. And it's all because of you guys. I really want to give a huge shout out to all of you for all the support you guys have been giving us, not just here on Horror Theory, but on Animal, my personal channel. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. But with that being said, here's how the show works, guys. We are going to go over some predetermined topics, and you guys are more than welcome to comment. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below or in the live chat if you guys are watching this live. And we're definitely going to be taking some of your live comments and questions at the end of the show. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are coming at you in our quaint space studio gaming cafe, Zero Dark, and really grateful to be here. Grateful to have each and every one of you guys and girls out there watching us and being a part of the show as always. So with that being said, guys, I want to start our show talking about this specifically, okay? Let me just go ahead and pull this up here. So I want to start with a story that came out in relation to Gears of War E-Day. Guys, Gears of War E-Day is coming. And with that brings a lot of excitement to, obviously, all of us who are massive Gears of War fans. Very excited for Gears of War E-Day. We have up and coming, the first thing to really be, I should say, really excited about is Gears of War Reloaded, right? So we got Gears of War Reloaded coming right around the corner. It is Gears of War Reloaded month, guys. August 26th of this year, we are going to be seeing Gears of War Reloaded. We're going to get our hands on with this title, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Really excited for Gears of War Reloaded because it's going to be kind of the title that gets us to Gears of War E-Day, right? And so hopefully, launch goes well. We're going to be creating a ton of content on the YouTube channels in relation to Gears of War Reloaded, and as it leads us to Gears of War E-Day. Well, what's interesting in relation to Gears of War E-Day, one of the developers over the Coalition, they have like this resume that they put out online, and one of the things that they had talked about was they talked about Gears of War E-Day having destructible cover, almost like similar to like destructible environments or, interactable environments as well. And this reminds me a lot of like Gears of War 3, some of the older Gears of War titles, where Gears of War 3 had where you could interact with objects, like you could pull a table up over as cover. You could destroy, cover as well, like with your weapons and with using like grenades and stuff. And I'm wondering if they're going to take this to a whole new level with Gears of War E-Day. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this concept goes to the next level where we see the destructible environments get a lot more maybe realistic. Like you throw a grenade near like some form of cover and it like destroys it, right? shooting at things, can destroy, cover as well. And I'm really excited to see this because especially with Gears of War E-Day being a title within Gears of War's universe that is going to be getting, Unreal Engine 5, meaning that they're building Gears of War E-Day from the ground up. It could be something really special. So destructible cover, I think, is going to be awesome. Could it lead to destructible environments? I absolutely think it could. I think there's a likelihood, I should say, that we see destructible environments in a major way within Gears of War E-Day. Are we going to see that with Gears of War Reloaded? Probably not, guys. I mean, Gears of War Reloaded is going to be more of your, remaster of Gears of War 1. You could even say another reskin of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. However, I would say that Gears of War Reloaded is not going to probably have all of these features that are more than likely going into Gears of War E-Day. The destructible environments, destructible cover, things of that nature, because that being E-Day, is being completely built from the bottom within Unreal Engine 5. And so there's a lot of things to be very, very excited about when we talk about, Gears of War E-Day specifically and what it's going to look like when it comes out in 2026. I think there's a lot of promise, a lot of hope here that this could be something really special, because a lot of the things that they're talking about, or I should say, one of the developers specifically at the Coalition is stating, he helped out with a number of the different levels, level designs, destructible cover, interactable cover. Those things remind me a lot of Gears of War 3 and some of the older Gears of War titles. And so I think them bringing those things back is going to be awesome, which I'm really excited about. The other thing that they mentioned was branching pathways. And you could look at this one of two ways. You could say this is a bad thing because Gears 5, you had this like semi-open world element to the game, which is obviously something that I think it was a valiant effort. Like, I'm glad the Coalition tried it, but I don't want them to try it again. Just because it kind of took you out of the experience. And at least in my personal opinion, from a linear perspective of what Gears of War has always been built on, to having this semi-open world concept, I just didn't love it. And so, that being said, I think the branching pathways, which we saw from the very beginning of Gears of War 1, and, as we kind of went, making decisions along the journey is great, but making it so that, what we kind of saw in the past, what Gears was built on from those branching pathways, I really like that. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? And I think that's going to be really awesome moving forward. Give me a sec, guys. All right. So let's see here. Where were we, guys? Okay. So we were talking about Gears of War E-Day, and let's see. Lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. So the developer over there at the Coalition had mentioned that there's going to be branching pathways once again, which we haven't seen that in a really long time. I should say it hasn't been a super long time, but we haven't seen it in a little while, especially when you compare it to we go all the way back to Gears of War 1. Those branching pathways were such a core element of Gears of War, just kind of creating an experience very, very, it was very subtle, but it was okay, are you going to go left? Are you going to go right? And so bringing that back, I think, is going to be really cool. But yeah, I think where we are with Gears currently, obviously, Gears of War Reloaded is the next up-and-coming title within this franchise, and it's right around the corner. I mean, it's Gears of War Reloaded month, guys. I mean, what can you say? I'm really excited about it. We're finally getting another, even though, yeah, you could say reskin of Gears of War Ultimate Edition or, another remaster of Gears of War 1. What I'm excited about is that PlayStation players are going to be able to play this game for the first time. That being Gears of War 1, as it'll be available on, PlayStation. And it's going to open up, a whole new realm of possibility in terms of the player base, growth of the franchise, which is something that we have not seen in a while, And so I'm very excited about the future. Gears of War E-Day, Gears of War Reloaded, just Gears of War in general. I'm really excited about the future. It's up to us to keep the community alive, to keep the flame lit, as a community. We've got to do that, and I'm really excited about sharing these adventures, these journeys with you guys in the world of Gears of War. But the question is for all of you, what do you guys think about this, about, destructible cover, potential destructible environments, interactable environments, linear story? Let us know what you guys think, and jump down to that comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, let's move on to this, shall we? Give me one sec. All right, guys, let's talk about this. It's going to open up, one of the things that's been really interesting to me, a lot of people, I'm going to kind of jump off of the horror gaming here for a sec, guys, because I want to talk about something, a lot of people have been mentioning to me and getting on my case about, and I want to, talk about it here. Obviously, this past weekend, we had the Battlefield 6 open beta, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this is because, well, Battlefield 6, one of the biggest games, in terms of, from a beta perspective, that first weekend was unbelievable. I mean, it was incredible. Well, a lot of people have been watching the video I made about how Black Ops 7 is still going to be the console, or I should say the FPS king, even after Battlefield 6. And, a lot of people were saying I was wrong, telling me I'm just a COD, apologist and this and that. But I've been pretty consistent in the reasoning for why I feel certain ways about certain things. And I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. What's awesome is that we all are able to be, when it comes to gaming, it's all subjective. What I think is awesome or what I think is going to be true, false, whatever, may be totally different than what you think is awesome or great. And that's the awesome part about being human. We all have like different preferences, or we all have different opinions about things. And my opinion was that Call of Duty Black Ops 7, even though it is as bad of a trailer as that initial reveal trailer was, I believe that it is going to still be the FPS king when it's all said and done, for one simple reason. The major reason being Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass, guys, you can't really, how is Battlefield going to compete with that? I think it's a great military shooter. From the beta at least, it's awesome, and we're going to jump into the numbers here in a minute. But I had stated that between Xbox Game Pass, there's no way that Battlefield can really compete with COD, because a lot of people are going to be trying Call of Duty at first, and so the numbers are going to be inflated. Battlefield 6 is going to have, they're going to get a massive amount of people that play Battlefield 6, but I just don't think it's going to be on the same level as Call of Duty, and we can see it from the numbers. Now, the numbers for the beta is one thing, but the numbers from the reveal trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7 versus Battlefield 6, it's not even close. Call of Duty Black Ops 7's reveal trailer, as bad as it was, as abysmal as it was, garnered 40 million views. Battlefield 6, I don't even know if it's even reached 10 million views yet. It's different levels. Now, the Battlefield 6 beta has done unbelievable numbers, and we're going to talk about that here right now. So the question is, were we wrong to say that Battlefield 6 has basically no shot against Black Ops 7? Let's talk about it. So, guys, there's an article that came out from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer about this. And they say, after the bug-riddled launch of Battlefield 2042 back in 2021, EA has been working to revitalize the Battlefield series' name, placing Respawn's Vince Zampella as its head amidst the creation of a wider Battlefield universe. If the recent Battlefield 6 beta over the weekend is any indication, those efforts are paying off. Not only did the beta surpass Call of Duty's all-time player count, but it also reached a new concurrent peak for the Battlefield series. So, there's a couple of things here I want to kind of point out, all right? Big props, kudos to Battlefield for getting this kind of concurrent peak, massive player count, obviously for the beta. I think there's two things here. The first one is that Vince Impella is an absolute beast. Like, I love Vince Impella. Them moving him, like, from obviously Respawn, or not, maybe even not necessarily moving him, but just having him come over to help DICE with Battlefield was so smart, because Vince Impella, for those of you who don't know, he made MW2 back in 2009 with Jason West. Then they split from Infinity Ward. They also did MW3, split from Infinity Ward. He came over to EA. He created Titanfall, Titanfall 2, Apex, the Jedi series, and now he's working on Battlefield. So that's like the first big thing, right? You got Vince Impella. He knows exactly what needs to happen in order to bring like a military shooter back, which is what so many of the old COD heads would love to see, is an old school, but really like with modern graphics and things of that nature, a military shooter. And that's what they're doing here. And it's incredible. Well, they surpassed the all-time player count as well as new concurrent peak, which is huge. But the other reason why I think this happened was because it was an open beta. Everybody could join. You didn't have to pre-order the game to play it. So I just think that they made it like open to everybody, and so everybody tried it. And I think it was great. I think it's amazing what they were able to accomplish here. EA calls the Battlefield 6 open beta its biggest ever, and weekend 1 just wrapped up throughout the weekend, and on August 7th and 8th, when invite-only players could hop in early, I saw screenshots across social media showing queues stretching into the hundreds of thousands. A lot of people were playing the game. And I agree. I mean, dude, there were so many people playing this game. There was like a queue that you were put into. I was put into a queue where there was like 14,000 people ahead of me. Now, it moved quickly. They did a really good job getting people in, regardless of how many people were playing it. But using SteamDB, a database that tracks Steam concurrent player counts, that checks out. On Saturday, the Battlefield 6 open beta peaked with 521,079 players, which is also an all-time peak for the entire Battlefield series. That number eclipses the peak of Call of Duty at 491,672, though it's important to note, these are just Steam numbers, and console players could sway this observation in either direction. Nonetheless, the point stands. Battlefield 6 is something players are excited about. The real test will be how many of these open beta players will convert into paid players when Battlefield 6 launches on October 10th on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So, okay, look. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell you what Battlefield 6 did from a beta perspective from weekend 1. It is remarkable, truly remarkable. I'm telling you guys, what Battlefield 6's beta was able to do in weekend 1 is unbelievable. I think it's great. You can just tell that Battlefield, it feels like Battlefield's back, right? And it's going to be interesting to see what happens from weekend 1 to weekend 2 of the beta. I would say like there's probably going to be a slight dip off of players, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who maybe didn't play in weekend 1 who are going to play weekend 2, and a lot of repeat people who played weekend 1 like ourselves that are going to play weekend 2 as well. But do I think I was wrong about saying that Battlefield 6 will not be the FPS king this year? I don't think I was wrong, and here's why. Once again, guys, the Battlefield 6 beta, although it's awesome, incredible, I think it's going to be a fantastic military shooter. It's probably going to be one of the best military shooters we have seen in a very long time. I mean, we would have to go back to probably MW2 back in 2009. I mean, Battlefield 3, like, dude, it's been a long time. But here's the thing. It's an open beta, meaning it's free for everybody to play. Great marketing move. I think they're going to sell a lot of copies of Battlefield 6, but a lot of people paying full price for this game, whereas Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is going to release day 1 on Xbox Game Pass. So a lot of people are going to play that as well. And the beta, more than likely, Call of Duty's beta will be an open beta as well. So it's going to be very interesting. I just don't think that Battlefield 6 can hang with Call of Duty based on the numbers. Like I said, 40 million views for the reveal trailer versus not even 10 million views. The beta itself might get a lot more people than Call of Duty Black Ops 7's beta gets. But on day one, Xbox Game Pass users are going to be able to play Black Ops 7. Battlefield 6 isn't going to be able to compete with that unless they release day one on PlayStation Premium Plus or, EA Play or whatever, right? So I just can't see Battlefield hanging with Call of Duty, especially when you have people who are very are starting to become more conservative where they're spending their gaming dollars. A lot of people might buy Battlefield 6 because maybe they have an Xbox and they have Xbox Game Pass and they don't have to pay for Call of Duty. And so they decide, you know what, I'm going to buy Battlefield 6. But when you have to pick and choose, I'm saying, and I'm calling it, I've called it from the beginning, I've said it from the start, even though the Black Ops 7 reveal trailer was total trash, I believe it will be the highest grossing game or FPS shooter or whatever you want to call it this year in 2025. I can't see any other game getting close to it. Battlefield 6 will certainly give it a run for a period of time. But that being said, the question is for all of you guys. These numbers, are they swaying you? I mean, that's the real question, guys, is will the open beta numbers that we're seeing for Battlefield 6, is that enough data for you to say, you know what, Battlefield 6 is going to be the FPS king come the end of the year or for this foreseeable future? Jump down to the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, let's talk about this. Okay. One of the things that a lot of people have been wanting me to talk about is a question that's coming up in the comment section of a number of our videos. The question is could State of Decay 3 be delayed or canceled? Because we've already had multiple delays, right? So the major talking point right now is, will it get canceled? And this is a tough talking point because a lot of people believe that with all these other, delays, cancellations that are happening over at Xbox, and with, recent Xbox layoffs happening, could this be, a real concern that State of Decay 3, Gears of War E-Day, some of these other, big titles that are coming out, could they get canceled? And it's just a matter of weeks until they get canceled. So let's talk about it, guys. I'm going to bring up references from an article coming to us from Aditya Chu over at Fandom Wire. And you know what? As a matter of fact, guys, I'm just going to switch screens so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing here. So, look. I want you guys to see kind of what I'm seeing here. State of Decay 3, could it be canceled? Let's talk about this. So, thanks to possible layoffs at Microsoft Gaming, which we already know, there's been a number of layoffs, guys. State of Decay 3 might just get canceled. And obviously, guys, this has not been confirmed yet. Take all of this with a pinch of salt. Obviously, at this point in time, here's what we know, right? Ches Gordon, who is an insider over at Windows Central, he reports on a lot of things with State of Decay and things of that nature. And what he recently stated via X, he stated that State of Decay 3, from what he's hearing, is not, there shouldn't be a real concern for it to get canceled. Same thing with Gears of War E-Day. These two games are still going to happen. Hang on one sec. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, man, dude. Again, pulled all over the place right now. It's good. All good news. It's just getting pulled into a number of different, whatever you want to call it, areas. So where was I? All right. State of Decay 3, right? Okay. So Ches Gordon mentioned that State of Decay 3, Gears of War E-Day are not, you don't need to be concerned right now as far as what he's hearing for them to be canceled, delayed, things of that nature. Even though State of Decay 3 has been delayed, obviously, and there's no end in sight there. But that all being said, this article is coming to us from Aditya Chu over at Fandom Wire. Could State of Decay 3 be canceled? Recent Xbox layoff rumors spark concern. So, obviously, Microsoft laid off a lot of people within their workforce. And it wasn't just, just Xbox. It was the whole workforce. But it did hit Xbox. Here's what it says. Considering how long back State of Decay 3 was first revealed, it should have been out by now. But the sad part is that it isn't. And the latest news about Microsoft layoffs has fans worried for a possible cancellation of the much anticipated game. Many expected it to show up in any of the Xbox Game Showcase, including the one held earlier this year, but it never came to be. And with Microsoft allegedly planning to lay off more people in its gaming department, the project could possibly stand a cancellation. Now, here's the thing. I don't believe that State of Decay 3 will get canceled. Could it get delayed more? Maybe. I think, the idea was they really wanted this game to, sounded like they wanted it to come out in 2026. Maybe it gets pushed to 2027. But the fact of the matter is they have a lot invested in State of Decay 3. We've seen it from, obviously the first trailer, which was in 2020, to the second trailer, which came out in 2024. They have the Coalition, who work on Gears of War, helping. They've got Obsidian, who work on, Grounded 2, the Outer Worlds 2. They're helping Undead Labs with State of Decay 3. So it's kind of like an all-hands-on-deck kind of situation. So I don't believe that State of Decay 3 is going to be canceled. But could it be delayed further? I do think that's possible, especially if, we start getting packed with Xbox releases, come 2026. Like Gears of War E-Day is supposed to be coming out in 2026. A number of other titles are supposed to be as well. I think the problem with Xbox right now is a lot of their games are getting delayed more than anything. Yes, there is certainly the fear of cancellation. I don't think that we'll see that here, but who knows? Since 2024, Microsoft has been laying off thousands of employees, and as noted by The Verge, there might be more coming next week. Last year, Xbox shut down a few well-known studios, including Tango Gameworks, and there is nothing stopping them from possibly shutting down Undead Labs, the studio behind State of Decay 3, which Microsoft acquired back in 2018. The unfortunate part about State of Decay 3's anticipation is that nobody has an idea of when it is coming out. The last major update about the upcoming title was given in June last year, which consisted of an official trailer for the game, and it has been dead silence since. Okay, look. I don't think that we need to worry so much about State of Decay 3 getting canceled right now, or Undead Labs getting shut down right now. I don't believe that. Here's where I think there could be concerns. If State of Decay 3 releases kind of shaky, it releases in a bad state, doesn't do very well as from a sales expectation perspective for Microsoft, Undead Labs will absolutely get shut down from that perspective. But I don't believe that State of Decay 3 is going to get shut down right now. I don't think Undead Labs is going to get closed up right now. They're too invested into it, with having multiple studios helping Undead Labs get this thing moving and ready to go. It definitely, look, you would be lying to yourself if you're not concerned about State of Decay 3 and what could happen here. But guys, I'm telling you right now, it's not time to hit the panic button yet. Sure, there were games that got canceled. Perfect Dark got canceled, Everwild. State of Decay 3 is too big of a franchise, in my opinion. Like, Gears of War is too big of a franchise for them to just cancel, right? They've invested a lot into these franchises. I believe that State of Decay 3 is going to make Microsoft a ton of money. I believe it's going to make Undead Labs. I think it's going to make State of Decay 3 a staple flagship IP for Microsoft and for Xbox. Gears of War E-Day, I believe, will be the biggest Gears of War title of all time. It's not even going to be close. And same with State of Decay 3. I believe State of Decay 3 will be the biggest State of Decay of all time. And it's for really one simple reason. Let's give it 3, right? Number 1, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass day 1. Number 2, it's coming to PlayStation 5. Number 3, it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Mic drop, that's it. Now, look, I'm saying Nintendo Switch 2, I'm saying PlayStation 5, assuming they are. The reports are stating that State of Decay 3, as well as Gears of War E-Day, are coming out on Nintendo Switch 2 day 1, as well as PS5 day 1, right? So, Lofi Hernandez says, I'm buying State of Decay 3 day 1. Huge fan of both games. I love it, man. That's awesome. I'm the same way. I definitely want to even though I have Xbox Game Pass, and I'll certainly be playing State of Decay 3 day 1, potentially on Xbox Game Pass, I would love to get like a collector's edition for it or something. We've been covering so much State of Decay 3 content on the YouTube channel, and we're going to continue to do that. And I'm really excited for the future of State of Decay and where it could go. But Microsoft, it's like I just don't see them doing it. If they do it and they cancel State of Decay 3 or shut down Undead Labs, I believe it'll be one of the biggest mistakes we have ever seen from Xbox. Microsoft Gaming is possibly going to focus on restructuring its entire gaming division soon. The company has shown a willingness to shave off its subsidiary studios before, and nothing will stop them from doing it again, which has left fans with their fingers crossed hoping for the best. While it is entirely possible that the game is still under complete progress and the speculations about its cancellation are a complete hoax, the absence of anything to indicate this progress, like developer diaries or in-game footage, makes me and many others believe otherwise. Yeah. I mean, look, it's very true that there is, and you know what? It's interesting, guys. It's not just Undead Labs. It doesn't give us a lot of in-game footage, a lot of developer diaries. You know who else doesn't do it? The Coalition. The guys and girls making Gears of War Reloaded, which is a couple of weeks away. Gears of War E-Day, which is supposedly coming out next year. Like, why aren't we getting those things from a lot of these Xbox studios? It's very interesting to me. I mean, why not bring the fan base along on the journey with the developer? Why not do that? I don't know, man. I mean, maybe I'm just we're looking too much into it, but I look at it and I'm like, I see other companies, for example, Techland with Dying Light. They've really brought their community along with them on the journey. They're sharing a lot of the ins and outs of what they're doing. And, even just kind of letting the fan base know, hey guys, we're still here. Hey guys, we're still here. Techland has done a really good job of yo guys, we got to delay this thing for another 4 weeks. But here's something to kind of hold you over. Here's another 10 minutes of gameplay. A lot of these Xbox studios, I believe it's a systematic issue within Xbox where there's too many higher-ups within Xbox that things have to get passed through in order to get approvals on, whether it's level designs, whether it's getting something put out on social media. I really believe that. And that's why these layoffs, I've made multiple videos, guys, stating that the layoffs, to me, it sucks for a lot of people, but it's also a good thing for the ecosystem of Xbox, because a lot of the people who got fired or let go were executives. They were higher ups at Xbox. And so I actually think that's a good thing, because instead of, say we work at Undead Labs and we finished a level, some kind of level design, let's say we worked on a co-op mode and we finished a level, we go and we pass it off. Normally it would go through like 5 different executives for approval. Well, now maybe it only has to go to 2 executives. One executive at Undead Labs, one executive at Xbox Game Studios, and then we have approval. And then we can move on to the next thing. So games can move along quicker. And so, I don't know, maybe I'm just blowing smoke here, but that's how where my brain goes with a lot of this stuff. I just think that there is a systemic issue with Xbox, and has been for a while. And now they're kind of pivoting. They're like, okay, we got to get rid of a lot of these executives. We've got to release these games on multi-platform, because there's a massive fan base around PlayStation, massive fan base around the Switch 2. Like, we've got to get it out to everybody. And so I think that they're making the right moves. But the real question is for all of you. What do you guys think about this? State of Decay 3, is it going to get canceled? Is Undead Labs going to get shut down? Jump down to the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, let's move into this. Lofi Hernandez says they fired the marketing department. How are you supposed to put forward marketing material? Dude. I mean, look, I don't know all the ins and outs of who all got fired. All I've heard, and from the research I've done, bro, is that Xbox fired a lot of executives at Xbox, or at the Xbox Game Studios, like, the higher ups of these companies, and Xbox as a whole. It does sound like they fired people, I just think like now it should create a more cohesive ecosystem where people aren't just, like, I'll give you an example, dude. Everwild. Everwild got canceled. Studio gets shut down. Why? Well, the reason was because Everwild had been in production for 10 years, brother. Wait a minute. So you're telling me this has been in production for 10 years, meaning that Xbox has been paying salaries, has been paying all those expenses and everything for 10 years, and the game never came out. I think a lot of us, as fans of these franchises, games, and all of that, there's one thing that we do wrong a lot of times. I shouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes. And I think we're wrong with this. Everybody points the finger to Xbox, that they're the bad guys. They have to lay off people and things of that nature. But what we need to start realizing is that a lot of these people that have been working on these projects have had years to get things done. And yeah, maybe it's a problem with Xbox. The higher ups aren't approving things quickly. It's like becoming this endless developer hell cycle and things of that nature. But at the same time, I think that when you start mass hiring people, and a lot of those people, like, they have their different jobs, but sometimes it's like, is it really being efficient? Like, is everybody really, because I feel like you could certainly, I'll give you an example, right? Just say, it depends on the business, but like in a lot of businesses, you can wear many different hats. You just can. And so where you don't have to maybe hire as many people for certain things, right? You can wear a couple of hats and do those things really, really well. Instead of like, my only job here is to, do marketing, right? Because instead of having a full-blown marketing team of like 10, 20, 30 people, you can maybe only have like a couple of people, and they like work really well together. They pass their things on to, the higher ups at Undead Labs or Xbox or whatever, and get those things approved a lot quicker. When you have all these other people on salaries, it's like, bro, the money just goes and goes and goes. And you're talking 10 years to get Everwild made? Bro, it's like, and you have nothing to show for it? Nothing to show for it? That's why Xbox is like, we're going to have like a Batgirl situation. The game's being made, but we're just going to scrap it because it would probably bomb. And we're just going to move our resources in development to somewhere else. Let some of those people go. The best people, though, the grinders, the really like the amazing workers over there, let's move them over to work on Fable. Let's move them to work on something else. And same thing with like Perfect Dark. It was like, look, it was apparently in a pretty rough state. So what did they do? They scrapped it, you know? They rather release something that's going to be really high quality, but it's also going to make them money, right? And they would just cut their losses now instead of spending more and more resource and development. They're going to focus a lot of those new resources on somewhere else, you know? Think about Dead Space. The Dead Space remake came out from EA Motive. They come out with the Dead Space remake. It was awesome, dude. It was incredible. Well, even as good as it was, and yeah, I think it definitely made EA some money, they were like, dude, we're going to move you guys to Battlefield 6 and look at what Battlefield 6 is doing. So what I'm saying is like, what these companies are doing is they're trying to structure their biggest heavy hitter games, and they want to bring teams together to work on those heavy hitters to knock them out of the park, instead of greenlighting so much extra stuff. And so I think that State of Decay 3 is one of the cases of multiple studios coming together working on State of Decay 3. Gears of War E-Day, the new Halo. They even just made like Halo Studios, remember? You know, it's like, bro, I think that there is absolutely something there without question. So with that being said, guys, and with that said, let's talk about this. I want to talk about this because we're talking about State of Decay 3 right now, right? And look, there's an article that came out. And once again, as we're talking about State of Decay 3, we're talking about Gears of War E-Day, we're talking about all these different games. I want to talk about this. Can State of Decay 3 release despite all odds and bad history? Oh, chat, let's get into it, shall we? Obviously, for those of you who don't know, you should at this point, guys, if you've watched enough of our videos. State of Decay 3 is one of our most anticipated games of the future. And obviously there's a lot of question marks around, okay, Xbox has been letting go of a bunch of people. State of Decay 3, it started, you know, we got our first initial announcement, reveal trailer in 2020. Then we got another one in 2024. Is it going to be another 4 years before we hear from, you know, State of Decay again? And a lot of people are concerned, and I understand the concern, man. I really do, because I'll be the first one to sit here and tell you guys. That first trailer that we got back in 2020, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I love the idea that we're going to be getting wildlife zombies. Like, that's an awesome concept. The change of season, like the snowy map that we saw in that first trailer, awesome, dude. But Undead Labs didn't even apparently make that trailer. Then we get trailer 2 4 years later, and there's no zombie animals. I mean, I don't know. Like, we got no zombie animals in the second one. It was all, it reminded me of the first 2 State of Decay games with like the same zombie variants and things of that nature, just enhanced graphics. And so it's like, okay, from one trailer to the next, night and day, like changing drastically. Will the next trailer change once again? And so there's a lot of concern around where they could be going with State of Decay 3. And that's why there's been a lot of concern about, is it going to get canceled? Is Undead Labs going to get shut down? Will State of Decay 3 get delayed again to like 2027, 2028? the developers kind of been pretty quiet overall, and that's true as well. Well, in an article, guys, where we talk about, this is coming to us from Fandom Wire, can State of Decay 3 release despite all odds and bad history? Many fans want to believe State of Decay 3 will manifest itself into reality, but given the history of Undead Labs, I see a few reasons why the studio can be on Microsoft's hit list. Thanks to controversies, bullying, issues within the workplace, as investigated by Kotaku, it hasn't really been in the limelight for good reason. Okay. There's a lot of credibility, like Phil Spencer's liking of the game as reported by Polygon, to prove that State of Decay 3 might be on its way to release as soon as next year. But the circumstances have us believing otherwise, leaving fans like me in a limbo of belief. The doubt of the game's release continues to grow as long as Xbox and Undead Labs are going to keep silent on the game's details. Either way, we will know. Okay, whatever about that, dude. They are not, like, they're on their own timeline. It's not canceled right now. Okay, so if we're talking like a week or two, bro, it's not canceled. Ches Gordon mentioned that from all of the... All right, guys. I apologize for that. Look, guys, I've stated this a million times, and I know some of you are probably like, bruh, like, why do you like go totally rogue? And the reason is, guys, is because we are running a business in here still. So Those of you who don't know, this is our quaint studio here, Zero Dark, which is it's a gaming cafe. So we run a gaming cafe in here, and even though it's the school week and we're back in school, it's not quite as busy and stuff. There's still people who come in and out to book birthday parties, to like do all kinds of different stuff. And so, anyways, I apologize for that. But anytime that happens where I'm like, yo, hang on a sec, guys, and I go rogue, it's because we got people in here, we got stuff going on, so on and so forth. So just bear with me on it. Okay. Let's talk about this. Okay. So as I was mentioning, and really quick, Carlos Sanchez Morago says, sometimes canceling is better than indefinitely delaying, which often becomes a quiet cancel without saying it's canceled. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that Xbox realizes that this is going to become, or could very well become, a staple franchise for Xbox, that being State of Decay 3. State of Decay, guys, I believe is, like when you talk about the flagship games, the flagship IPs that Xbox possesses or have been like Xbox exclusives up to this point, look no further than Gears of War, Halo, Fable, and State of Decay. Is State of Decay getting to that point, right? I believe it is. And I believe that State of Decay 3 is going to be the biggest State of Decay of all time. I don't even think it's going to be close. And so I think it's worth the investment from Microsoft's perspective to make sure that this thing happens. You know, they've got the coalition working on it. They've got Obsidian helping. So I think that when you have all hands on deck, dude, I think that this could be a very special title if Xbox, gives them the resource and development they need, but also it doesn't have to, like, making sure that the process is more seamless, where it doesn't have to go through multiple levels of executives to get approvals on things, which is probably what's been happening, where Undead Labs has been in like these development hell cycles and things of that nature. And yes, there have been issues with bullying apparently in the workplace at Undead Labs, investigated by Kotaku. Take that for what it's worth, guys. But I do think that there certainly sounds like there's been issues at Undead Labs, okay? The one that we know about, without a shadow of a doubt, is development hell. Like, we got the first initial announcement trailer in 2020. We got nothing until 2024. Nothing, dude. So that tells us, radio silence tells us, okay, yeah, maybe they're in the lab, literally, but when we're not hearing anything, and then you see such a drastic shift from trailer 1 to trailer 2, trailer 1, heavy emphasis on wildlife, change of season, snowy maps, blah, blah, blah. Trailer 2, no wildlife zombies. More of the same of what we've seen from State of Decay 1 and 2 in terms of zombie variants and things of that nature. But like enhanced graphics, it's like, okay, is there going to be another change coming with the third trailer? And will it be another 4 years until we see it? Those are all questions that we have to kind of ask ourselves, And so, am I super concerned about State of Decay 3? Look, I'll put it to you guys like this. If we don't hear anything from Undead Labs or anything about State of Decay 3 next year, yes, I'm concerned. But I believe, personally, that we will hear things from State of Decay 3 during the Xbox Game Showcase of 2026, right? The summer showcase, I believe that we are going to hear from State of Decay 3, okay? I believe that is absolutely 1,000% going to happen. We are going to get a release date trailer with gameplay at the Xbox Game Showcase next year. I believe that Gears of War E-Day is going to have a direct kind of like the Outer Worlds 2 had their direct this year, right after the showcase. I believe that'll be Gears of War E-Day's time to shine next year. And State of Decay 3, more than likely, I am thinking, guys, that it's going to come out in 2027. I just do. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't think they're going to want to release anytime near GTA 6. I don't think they're going to want to release anywhere near Gears of War E-Day. So that would mean maybe the beginning of the year. Then you're going up against potentially Resident Evil Requiem. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to release it early next year when we don't even have a release date or a release date trailer or gameplay, nothing. I mean, I don't know, dude. So I'm just thinking 2027, more than likely, but maybe we'll get it in 2026. It's hard to say. But the question is for all of you guys, what do you guys think about this? These articles that are coming out about, workplace issues over at Undead Labs, people feeling like they're in a limbo state, a state of potential, like, cancellation, development hell, which we obviously know about. But where do you guys think we are with State of Decay 3? Jump down to that comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, give me 1 second. Hold up. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm just trying to get some... Guys, I apologize. It's been one of those days where I've just had so many, people, calling, texting, all these different things. You know what's been crazy, bro? I've had a bunch of birthday parties that have just gotten completely, a lot of birthday party people that are... Birthday party bookings have been happening. It's crazy. Give me 1 sec. Golly. Okay, let's just, bro. Okay, guys. With that down and out of the way. Carlos says, I guess this is a good sign. Better busy business than no business. Yep, 100%, dude. Totally with you. Okay. Let's move into our next topic, shall we, guys? I know I've been all over the place here, and I'm truly, truly grateful for each and every one of you for kind of jumping in here with me as we've been going through this this transition, I guess you could call it, or whatever. Okay, so we got another thing coming to us about State of Decay 3. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to switch screens here for you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Dude, bro. Come on, bro. Switch this screen over. All right. So, this, guys, is an article that I want to talk about. All right? This is coming to us from Ediz Gunner over at Game Rant. State of Decay 3. There's a leak. Okay, first of all, a leak, guys. This is awesome. You know, when we start getting leaks and stuff, that's usually a good sign that, hey, the game is still moving along. Maybe it's, you know, slow or whatever, but at least we're getting somewhere, right? Well, State of Decay 3, the next installment in Undead Labs' flagship franchise, was one of the first games that Microsoft ever announced for the Xbox Series XS. The title was revealed with a brief CGI teaser trailer during the 2020 Xbox Game Showcase, where it was confirmed to be in development exclusively for Xbox and PC. Even though more than 5 years have passed since State of Decay 3's initial announcement, the game hasn't been released on Xbox consoles yet and is still nowhere to be found. The last time Undead Labs shared some information on the title was in June of 2024, but the company has been mostly silent ever since. And you know what, dude? That right there is what I think is really the underlying issue here, where we have a systemic issue at Xbox and then it's kind of seeping down into the Xbox game studios themselves, is a lack of communication. Like, I look at it from the perspective of, if I'm working on a game, right, and I'm a developer, I want to be able to share with the community, like the fan base and stuff. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, if it's not ready yet, don't show it, but just letting people know, like, hey guys, we're still here. We're still working on this thing. It's going awesome. Here's a quick little screenshot behind, like, this chair I'm working at and whatever, you know, like coming up with like different little like cool marketing tools to kind of just build hype and anticipation. Like, guys, we're still here, you know? There's just been a major lack of that, period. Some rumors and reports over the years have suggested that State of Decay 3 has had some major troubles behind the scenes, with high employee turnover rates and shakeups in management, causing it to be delayed internally on multiple occasions. While these issues are likely the primary cause of State of Decay 3's unusually long development cycle, it is possible that the game hasn't been able to meet deadlines for a few other reasons. If a new leak is to be believed, for example, guys, this leak, by the way, okay, hold up. Undead Labs may have started working on a new PS5 version of State of Decay 3 in tandem with Xbox and PC ports, which may have pushed the game's projected launch date back significantly. Now look, if it's coming to PlayStation 5, as well as the Switch 2, which it's being rumored and leaked or reported that State of Decay 3 and Gears of War E-Day are both coming out on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. Switch 2, specifically. Guys, you can bet your ass, brother, State of Decay 3 will be the biggest State of Decay game of all time. It's not even going to be close. Gears of War E-Day will be the biggest Gears of War title of all time, and it's not even going to be close. If the report is true that Gears of War E-Day and State of Decay 3 are coming to PlayStation 5 as well as the Nintendo Switch 2, these games are going to be massive, bro. Especially if they're really good. Like, if Undead Labs knocks State of Decay 3 out of the park, it's going to be huge. If the Coalition knocks Gears of War E-Day out of the park, it's going to be absolutely huge for Xbox. It's going to be huge, I'm telling you right now. That being said, though, a new report suggests that State of Decay 3 is coming to PS5. The video game website MP First alleged a few days ago that it had found some developer resumes that provided a few key hints about Microsoft's future multi-platform plans. According to the report, PS5 was listed in these resumes as a target platform for two upcoming Xbox games, Gears of War E-Day and State of Decay 3. Although MP First couldn't find any clear information about whether State of Decay 3 and Gears of War E-Day were receiving a simultaneous launch on PS5, this leak did seem to suggest that the games would make their way to the platform sooner rather than later. Now, one of the interesting things here is one of the developers at the Coalition working on Gears of War E-Day, he put on like a portfolio on his own personal website that he was working on Gears of War E-Day, and he was helping out with like their like a branching pathway system. He was helping to work out like different destructible cover, interactable cover, things of that nature within Gears of War E-Day, and was helping out with the level designs. And on that, he had mentioned that obviously what they were working with was Gears of War E-Day coming to Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Switch 2, but later on, after fans caught wind of it, he took those off. He took off PlayStation, Switch, off of there, and now it just says Xbox and PC. So there's got to be some form of validity here, meaning Xbox, Microsoft, are watching, and they're seeing that the community's finding out about these things, and so they're trying to keep things under wraps, probably for good reason, but at the same time, this is telling us, like, hey, there might be some validity here that Gears of War E-Day is coming to PlayStation, but also to Switch 2. Same thing with State of Decay 3, because we already see Gears of War Gears of War Reloaded coming out later this month. A remaster of Gears of War 1 is coming to PlayStation 5 as well as Xbox. So if that's to kind of give us a premonition of what's to come, Gears of War E-Day will absolutely be on PlayStation 5. State of Decay 3 will absolutely be on PlayStation 5. The question is Switch 2. Is that going to get confirmed for Gears of War E-Day and State of Decay 3? I think it would be absolutely massive for these games if that happens. A multi-platform release would make the tagline of the State of Decay series more fitting. If State of Decay 3 does indeed come to PS5 at launch, then the tagline of the SOD series, No One Survives Alone, would be more fitting than ever before. Up until now, the State of Decay games have been exclusive to Xbox consoles and Windows PC, despite Microsoft's recent multi-platform endeavors. There have been next to no signs, either from insiders or official sources, that the first two installments of the franchise are being planned for PS5. State of Decay 3 being released on PlayStation on day one would, as a result, buck the trend and make the series accessible to a wider than usual audience. A wider than ever before audience. Let's put it that way. You're going from a player base of 30 to 35 million users, because that's how many consoles between Xbox Series X and S were sold, 30 to 35 million. And you're going all the way up to 75 million units, which is what the PlayStation 5 sold. Brother, you're like doubling the amount of exposure you have for your game at that point. And then the Switch 2? The Nintendo Switch 1 sold like 125 million units. The Switch 2, guys, I mean, the Switch is the biggest console ever, right? Like, it's huge. And so You get it on the Switch as well as the PlayStation. I mean, dude, GG's in the chat. I mean, let's be real. The State of Decay games, for those who don't know, aren't wholly single player, but they aren't live service multiplayer titles either. They are basically cooperative zombie survival games that have received consistent content updates in the years since their debuts. While State of Decay 1 and 2 were kind of janky and rough around the edges, State of Decay 3 seems to be taking the co-op elements of the franchise to the next level. And I love it, dude. I love that they're kind of focusing heavily on co-op and like multiplayer elements. I think that's awesome, dude. State of Decay is a lot of fun to play with your friends. It just is. It's a really fun experience. And so them honing in on that, I think that it's going to pay dividends for the developer, Undead Labs, and the publisher being Microsoft and Xbox Game Studios. State of Decay 3 will focus a lot on co-op. Undead Labs revealed in an Xbox Wire post last year that State of Decay 3 is going to feature a much larger, truly shared open world, and it will have a greater focus on permadeath compared to its predecessors. The company stated that it had collaborated with fellow Xbox studio Obsidian Entertainment on the game's shared world features in order to ensure that it will have more flexible online co-op. Since State of Decay 3 is seemingly going to rely heavily on its multiplayer components, it makes sense for it to be available on as many platforms as possible at launch. Giving State of Decay 3 a simultaneous PlayStation release would ensure that the game has a large and healthy player base from the very beginning. I totally agree. I completely, unequivocally agree, guys. I agree with that statement 1000%. I believe, guys, I believe this, that if State of Decay 3 releases on PlayStation and Switch 2, it will be immediately, like, we talk about like survival, horror games, zombie simulation titles. It's very niche. It'll be the biggest of those. Like, in its niche of zombie simulation titles, it will become the biggest on planet Earth. And it's not even going to be close. So, am I excited about it? I'm very excited about it. And I think that one of the reasons why I'm not so concerned about State of Decay 3 is because they've got so many other studios helping them. Like, Xbox believes in this title. And so they've got Obsidian working on it. They have the Coalition working on it in a multitude of different ways. And so I think we're going to hear more about State of Decay 3 come next Xbox Game Showcase, that being the Xbox Game Showcase of 2026. I believe we'll get a gameplay reveal as well as, I guess you could say, a release date trailer, like along with it. I think it'll give us a gameplay trailer with a release date attached to it. And I think we'll get our release date for 2027, maybe Halloween 2027. I think that would be awesome. But the real question is for all of you. What do you guys think about this? State of Decay coming to PlayStation as well as Nintendo. Jump down to those comments down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta talk about this, guys. I mean, we gotta talk about this, okay? I want to talk about this because a lot of people have asked me to talk about it. Carlos says, hopefully it will include crossplay from day one. Yeah, I agree, man. I think it will. I think we're going to get crossplay day one on State of Decay 3. I do. I really do believe that. Yeah. I don't see why it wouldn't be crossplay from day one. I'm certainly hoping that's the case. There might be some growing pains with it. I think there could certainly be, issues at launch potentially when especially you're going from being just an Xbox exclusive and now you're branching out to PlayStation and Switch. I mean, that's a big undertaking for sure. Give me one sec, guys. Hang on one sec. I'm going to get a drink. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Where were we? Okay. So, like I said, I think there's going to be a number of things, bro, that we're going to see from day one. And as a matter of fact, bro, why is this like this, bro? Unbelievable, dude. Okay. So yeah, in terms of crossplay, I'm not too concerned about it. I think we will absolutely be getting crossplay day one. I'm not too concerned about it. I just want to see like a trajectory of getting updates from the developer, Undead Labs. I think that we deserve that as a community. Some developer diaries would be absolutely awesome. I think that would be really cool. But, look, bottom line is this. I'm very excited about the future here, guys, of State of Decay 3, Gears of War E-Day. I'm super excited about it. And we're going to be taking your guys' live comments and questions. I got to talk about this, though. There's been... I've gotten some flack on a couple of our other channels. You know what? And mine's well, guys. I should probably just kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Like, kind of getting a little bit crushed here by some people. Give me one sec here. If I go... Okay. And while we're at it, I'm going to switch my screens here in a sec. I also want to just I want to thank a lot of you guys for all your help and things of that nature. Where are we? So I want to give major shout out to Hugo974 for subscribing to us. Alcus Aletris, really appreciate both of you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all the new followers, all the new subscribers. I'm super, super grateful for all of you guys. Like, without question, man. Truly, truly grateful for all of you. Let me just switch screens here so you guys can see what I'm seeing here. All of the, like I said, guys, all of the new followers, all the new subscribers, truly, truly grateful for all of you. We are like growing every single day because of you guys, and it's awesome. Okay, so here's where I got some flack, guys. I got some flack from my, so obviously we run Horror Theory, and we run horror, obviously Jeff and I, we've been running Horror Theory together. But my team channel is Animal. And I want to talk about this because Call of Duty has been, is a passion of mine. Obviously, Animal started back in 2012, and it started as a Call of Duty channel, okay? And even though we're like what I'm about to talk about isn't in so much in relation to horror games, so to speak, I just want to kind of address this because I know a number of you watch our show on Animal, or you guys watch our content on Animal, and you also watch my personal channel, that being Animal Zero, where I talk about everything in the world of Gears of War, right? But I want to talk about this because, my God, guys, I've been getting crushed in the comment section of some of these videos, because we've been talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and how Black Ops 7 is still going to be the first-person shooter king, even though Battlefield 6 is doing incredible. And I want to talk about this because people just think that I am like a Call of Duty apologist or something. Like I just whatever. You know, all the absolute haymakers have come out just crushing me about my take on Black Ops 7 versus Battlefield 6. And we're going to talk about it right here because I got a couple of things to say about it. And the first thing, though, before I even get into that, I want to talk about something that did come out from Call of Duty. There was a leak that came out, guys, and this article came to us from Richard Warren over at Game Rant. Call of Duty's modern formula has become incredibly predictable, and this extends to its pre-order bonuses and special editions. Just like players can expect a yearly release with 5 to 6 seasons full of maps, modes, and events, they can anticipate some cosmetics for pre-ordering as well as a Vault Edition if they want to invest more into the game. Usually coming in at $100, players get access to the Black Cell version of the inaugural season's Battle Pass alongside some exclusive operator and weapon cosmetics. Usually the 4 operator skins are flashier than any other outfit offered for the base game operators, with the looks being more comparable to the in-game store editions that tend to come later. For Black Ops 7, this is especially true as its outfits are a step beyond even Black Ops 6's Vault Edition appearances. Okay. Let's talk about this, guys. So, for Black Ops 6 Vault Edition, players received 2 masked outfits for Adler and Park, as well as 2 COD Zombies-themed operators, Claws from Mauer de Totem, and Brutus from Mob of the Dead. While these 2 outfits were certainly over the top, having 2 simpler ones balanced things out, and the pushback was a bit less severe because the wackier looks come directly from COD Zombies. As for Black Ops 7's leaked Vault Edition skins, it seems like Treyarch is taking full advantage of Black Ops 7's futuristic setting, with all 4 looks being absurd. However, while plenty has been said about the glowy blue soldier, cyborg, and robot skins, it's the TED theme design that has raised alarm bells for Zombies fans, though they may want to lower their expectations. So a TED theme skin, guys, for Black Ops 7 is what, you know, people are talking about here. And for me personally, like, I am... Black Ops 7 is going to lean into the futuristic stuff, right? I mean, because now you've got Battlefield 6 that's going more modern day military shooter. Call of Duty right now is trying to be the Fortnite of the FPS genre. Battlefield wants to be the military shooter of the FPS genre. They've kind of gone in 2 totally separate directions. And do I think that one day Call of Duty is going to come back to the military shooter? I think that it's reasonable to expect that that will happen at some point. But not this year. This year, I think that they are going to continue to lean into what's working for them from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7 and the over-the-top skins that Call of Duty's going after, like in the slightly futuristic things. I think they're going to absolutely continue with Black Ops 7. For those unfamiliar with Ted, it's worth a brief refresher on who exactly he is. Ted is first encountered on Transit, serving as the bus driver for the controversial map. Heavily damaged, likely from the missiles that hit the Earth after Moon's main quest Easter egg, Ted is missing all of one arm and the majority of the other, with his face heavily burned too. Despite these scars, Ted has established quite the fan base. Both due to his unique look and personality, players will no doubt remember him lashing out and kicking them off the bus if they knifed him too many times, or mistaking Green Run locations for Hawaii. Okay. We saw him, guys. Black Ops 7 promotional material. Okay. Now look, remember, a lot of the stuff we're talking about here is leaked. Like, it's leaked. It's not 100% confirmed, you know, so take it all with a pinch of salt. But fans optimistic that Treyarch is teasing a Transit remake. There are a few points against this theory, such as Ted has been used for skins for Blackout in Call of Duty Mobile, After Reckoning's ending, it seems like the other leaks for BO7 Zombies are accurate, meaning map settings like a nuked New York, a dark aether space station, and so on are likely. Transit is widely regarded as the worst Treyarch Zombies map ever made outside of Vanguard Zombies. Vanguard Zombies was trash, bro. Like, guys, trash, okay? Vanguard Zombies, may it rest in peace. Perhaps most damning is that Black Ops 6's Vault Edition featured Brutus from Mob of the Dead and Blood of the Dead as a skin, yet no such map remake happened. All right, look. Guys, everybody's been, like, everyone who was crushing me on my videos that I stated on Animal, okay? I still stand by these videos I've made about Black Ops 7 being the FPS king even after Battlefield 6. Because Black Ops 7 is releasing on Xbox Game Pass day one. Battlefield can't compete with that. That's number one. Number two, Black Ops 7 got 40 million views on YouTube for the reveal trailer. And that reveal trailer was the worst reveal trailer I have ever seen Call of Duty produce. I have ever witnessed live from the Xbox Game Showcase. I mean, guys, look. Can we look this up really quick? The Black Ops 7 reveal. 40 million views, ladies and gentlemen. Can I interest you in that? 40 million views, bro? Now, okay, for context, 40 million views for Call of Duty Black Ops 7's official teaser, which I believe was the worst teaser trailer Call of Duty has ever produced. Now, it has no bearing on whether the game's going to be good, bad, or great. It does not matter. I'm just telling you, from what I witnessed, this teaser trailer was the worst teaser I've ever seen from Call of Duty, ever. Now let's go to the flip side. Guys, Battlefield 6's official reveal trailer has not even broken 10 million views. Okay? So, look. Battlefield 6's beta is awesome, dude. It's awesome. I love everything about it. I think the open beta is great. It's doing monster numbers. It's doing bigger numbers than what Call of Duty's done. Like, it's doing huge numbers, okay? There's a couple of things here, though. Number one, it's an open beta, meaning anybody can download it, anybody can play it for free. Okay, so the numbers are going to be inflated. Will some of those people buy the game? Of course, but some of them won't. And the numbers tell me that 9.5 million views for the reveal versus 40 million, it tells me that they're on different stratospheres. And maybe it's unfair because Call of Duty has had a recent win with Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 was awesome overall. Outside of the hacking situations, the cheating situations, you know, not releasing ranked play in a timely manner. Battlefield has had a miss recently. I think a couple of misses, honestly, guys, with 2042 Battlefield 5. I think the last good one in my mind was Battlefield 1. Which, once again, I feel like World War I has been done so many times. World War II has been done so many times. But nonetheless, Battlefield 6, Battlefield is back, period. But it's on a different stratosphere than Call of Duty. Like, it's just, they're not the same. It's different. And it's okay. Battlefield 6 is going to be great. It's just not COD. Call of Duty's on a different level. So, here we go. Still, while it wouldn't be wise to expect a Transit remake based on the skin alone, there are other reasons fans should not give up hope. A Transit remake was reportedly planned for Black Ops 4's second year of Zombies content, before being scrapped. While the vehicle lights shown in the Black Ops 7 Zombies teaser do feel like a deliberate nod to Transit, these points, in addition to Transit having so much untapped potential, make an idea that's hard to not be intrigued by. Okay? Look. With fog toned down, denizens reworked, some kind of counter to lava damage, and a better Easter egg, Transit could have been an enjoyable map. Hopefully it gets the chance to be everything Treyarch wanted. Right? Wanted it to be back in 2012, as there is a certain charm to it despite all its flaws. A key part of that charm is the bus and its driver Ted. So it's nice to see him being honored with an exclusive Black Ops 7 Vault Edition skin. Now, once again, guys, look, it's just a leak. Just a leak. It's not fully confirmed that that's happening with, Black Ops 7's, Vault Edition and stuff. What Call of Duty's doing, guys, is they're going to continue down the same trajectory of what they're going. They're like, dude, what we did with Black Ops 6 worked. Let's do it again, And yeah, a lot of people are turned off by some of the skins and stuff, myself included. I mean, Beavis and Butthead, American Dad, like, bro, come on. Like, when did this turn into Fortnite? But that's what Call of Duty's doing, guys, and they're going to be very successful at it. They want to be the Fortnite of first-person shooters. Battlefield and Battlefield 6, they want to be the military shooter of the FPS genre. So, two different mindsets, and it's okay. They're both going to be very successful in their own right. I've just been stating, and I stand by it, that Call of Duty will be the FPS king once again. Doesn't matter what Battlefield 6 does. Call of Duty is just going to be, it's that much of a ravenous fan base, that big of a fan base, and the numbers show it, and it coming on Xbox Game Pass day one, it'll solidify it in my personal opinion. But the question is, for all of you, what do you guys think about this? Battlefield 6 versus Black Ops 7, it's a real conversation of debate. A lot of people on either side getting super upset about it and about different takes on, either way. I want to hear it from all of you. What do you guys think about it, though? Jump down to that comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, I would like to take this time to hang out with all of you for a little while and just take any of your live questions that you guys might have, any live comments, things of that nature. I'd love to talk to you guys about whatever. State of Decay 3, Gears of War E-Day, COD, the world around us, whatever it is. Dude, this Berry Freeze Prime is actually pretty good. Not even gonna lie. But yeah, so I mean, we got a lot of comments asking about like the state of Decay 3. And look, guys, I have no inside information. I don't. Okay. Am I working on it? Of course, guys. We're always in the lab trying to, talk to the folks over at Undead Labs and, Xbox Game Studios and try to get some information. But you know what, guys? I mean, Undead Labs has been very radio silent, not just with me, but with everybody in the community. Like, they're very radio silent at this point in time, and it's unfortunate. Like, we want to hear more about what's going on with State of Decay 3, but that's not what's happening right now. And I think that those things could change. I definitely think they could. But nonetheless, I mean, look, I'm excited regardless for the future of State of Decay 3. What could happen in the future with that? I think there's a lot of promise that State of Decay 3 will be the biggest State of Decay of all time. Gears of War E-Day will be the biggest Gears of all time. It's an exciting time for horror games, man. I mean, I even look at like Look at games like Resident Evil Requiem. I believe Resident Evil Requiem could be the biggest Resident Evil of all time. I mean, I think it could. Who's to say it won't be, you know? So I think it's a really exciting time to be a fan of horror games. I really do. I think between, you know, horror games, State of Decay, Gears of War especially, dude, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Give me 1 sec, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back. Okay, so what else? What else was I going to kind of talk about here? You know, honestly, dude, I'm just really grateful for all of you guys out there. I really am. I'm super thankful that you guys have been, just the support you guys are giving the channel. It's been awesome. And I want to run something by you guys. We are going to start we're going to start doing a series on horror theory, specifically around State of Decay. And the reason being, guys, is because we're massive State of Decay fans over here at Horror Theory, and we want to create a lot of State of Decay content leading us into State of Decay 3. Because I believe, guys, I've been a firm believer that content is king when it comes to helping franchises continue with growth and stuff. And so I want to challenge all you guys out there. If you guys love State of Decay, create some content around it or support your favorite creators and stuff around the game. And that definitely can help. It can do things that you never really thought were possible in terms of getting these games to like future, you know, continuations and things of that nature and continued support. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about what we're working on behind the scenes. We're going to start streaming, you know, State of Decay 1, State of Decay 2 on Horror Theory, which I'm excited about, man. I'm really excited about that. Nia says, I only watch your videos because of State of Decay. It is literally the only game I'm waiting for. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you being here for sure. State of Decay is our favorite game too, to really talk about on Horror Theory. I mean, we love talking about Gears as well. We'll talk about, you know, we'll talk about all kinds of different games really at the end of the day. But for the most part, when it comes to the horror genre and the horror games that are coming up, State of Decay 3 is at the top of the list for a multitude of reasons. But I mean, the big one is that it's so unique. It's so different from all these other games. And that's probably the same thing with Gears of War E-Day or just Gears in general. Gears is a different type of third-person shooter, right? You know, the cover-based mechanics and all of that. State of Decay is like your zombie simulation title that it's so different from all these other horror games, first of all, but zombie horror games. And it's a great, I truly believe that as we're moving into State of Decay 3, I really feel that the emphasis on co-op is going to get elevated in a significant way when we move into, you know, as we move into State of Decay 3. I really believe that. So, but I'm grateful for you for being here, for sure, Nia. What else? Let's see. Let me just move this. Give me 1 sec, guys. Just sending a quick email. I know that probably just messed everything up. It did. Okay, so I'm back. I'm sorry. What was I saying? Okay. The only thing that would top that for me would be a Left 4 Dead 3, which will never happen. We'll never say never. You know what, Nia? Like, it's interesting. You want to know another game that they said they were never going to make another one? Dead Space. So you had the first 2 Dead Space titles, Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, critically acclaimed. They knocked that shit out of the park. And then we got Dead Space 3. And EA made the really smart decision to, you know what, we're going to change the formula of what was working for Dead Space. And we're going to, change the formula from what it was, which was a horror game with action elements, to an action game with horror elements. So they reversed it. Dead Space 3 went into, just got destroyed. In terms of backlash, sales numbers were bad, so on and so forth. And Dead Space went into a limbo state, a state of potential no return. But the community kept Dead Space alive. And I'll tell you how. Community forums, Reddit, Facebook groups, all these different ways. Dude, there's a group on Facebook called Dead Space Universe I've been a part of for years. I think they have over 10,000 people in there. And it's a group that consistently was pushing stuff towards EA to create a Dead Space remake. They created a petition to get a Dead Space remake made. And guess what? After all these years, 2023, Dead Space remake came out. And it was awesome. Now, do I know if they're going to make another Dead Space, like a Dead Space 4 or a Dead Space 2 remake? I don't know if they'll ever do it, because the guys who made the Dead Space remake, which was EA Motive, that team moved over to work on Battlefield 6, which is going to be EA's juggernaut title, at least for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if that'll happen. But what I'm saying is the moral of that story, never give up. Left 4 Dead 3 could very well happen. Valve is just very focused on, think of how long it took them to get CS2 made. Come on. It took them forever. They're very they're slow moving, right? Half-Life. Could we see another Half-Life, another Portal, another, the list goes on and on. But Left 4 Dead 3 would be absolutely awesome because, yeah, Back 4 Blood was cool in its own right, but it wasn't Left 4 Dead. It just wasn't. So I'm with you. But State of Decay 3 is definitely the pinnacle of excitement for horror titles for us. Gears of War certainly up there. Even though Gears of War is more action, but it has a lot of horror elements to it. So we're really excited about Gears. Gears of War Reloaded. This is Gears of War Reloaded month. It's coming out this month. So super excited about Gears of War Reloaded. I'm hoping that we hear more this year about State of Decay 3, though, man. I really hope that that happens for sure. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on that. What else? Take a look at something here. I keep on seeing these articles. Hold on a sec. Yeah, like, honestly, bruh, when I see this, this is actually kind of insane. Hold on. Look, you know what, guys? You know what one of the biggest challenges it is? Being a content creator talking about State of Decay 3 is, honestly, dude, there's not a lot to talk about. Like, we can speculate all we want about what State of Decay 3 is going to be and this and that. We can break down what we saw from trailer 1 to trailer 2 and all those different things. But, dude, there's just not a lot of things to, like, break down about State of Decay 3 right now, unfortunately. The biggest things is, like, Battlefield 6 beta becomes the biggest thing for Battlefield ever on Steam, going beyond even Call of Duty. That's cool, bro. Like, I mean, that's, yeah, you know, it's cool that that's become the biggest, you know, thing for Battlefield, and I think it deserves it because Battlefield 6 is sick, dude. That beta was awesome, and I'm going to play it second weekend too. I think it was real. It's well done, but it's not COD. You know, don't get it twisted. I mean, it feels great. It feels, you know, realistic. Destructible environments are crazy. Sniper rifles are a lot of fun. They've got a real problem, though. I'll tell you what the problem is. The sniper rifles are, you get so many hit markers, and the shotgun is OP, period. I don't care what anybody says. Shotgun is completely OP right now, and the sniper rifle, I believe, needs a boost, whereas the shotgun needs a nerf. That's just what my personal thought on it is. But outside of that, beta was killer, dude. Was killer. It was incredible. I thought it was awesome. If you're after more evidence that this year's Battlefield 6 launch is going to be one of the biggest ever for the series, the game's beta has plenty to offer. Over the weekend, the beta's first open weekend took place, and it's been dominating the charts on Steam. This comes just a day or two after the initial invite-only portion of the beta broke records for the series on Steam. This was the beginning, however. This was only the beginning. On Saturday and Sunday, the Battlefield 6 beta became available to download and play without the need for a code. Over that same period, the game's concurrent player numbers jumped yet again on Steam as a result of the influx of new players. Dude, the Battlefield 6 beta was frequently in Steam's top 3 most played games, peaking at 521,079 concurrent players, which is a big number. For one, it's bigger than the peak concurrent for any Battlefield title on Steam. More interestingly, it's bigger than Call of Duty's highest ever concurrent too. The Call of Duty app, which contains several Call of Duty releases at once, has a historic peak of 491,670 concurrent players. That includes free-to-play mode, Warzone, premium yearly releases, as well as betas and other limited tests. So the number is unbelievable that Battlefield did. Incredible, dude, and I could never take that away from them. I think that they absolutely, unequivocally crushed it. They unequivocally crushed it, guys. I mean, it's not even a debate at this point that Battlefield 6's beta is incredible. It's incredible numbers that they did. And, it just kind of tells you that there's a real want and need for a military shooter, true military shooter. A lot of people want a military shooter, which is what Call of Duty was built on. Battlefield was built on, and Battlefield's kind of stayed, in their lane, whereas Call of Duty has kind of started to drift, into the more, you could say, like, the more over-the-top microtransactions and things of that nature, where they're gonna start, trying to be more of the Fortnite of first-person shooters than anything else. And I'm not saying, guys, that it's the worst thing ever, but for being a massive Call of Duty fan, it's like, dude, MW2 back in 2009, COD 4, Modern Warfare 1, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, MW3, just the golden years of Call of Duty, that's where it was the military shooter. And now, look, I still love Call of Duty for what it is. Like, Call of Duty is what got me into content creation, guys. That's what started this whole entire thing for me. Like, Zero Dark, what you're seeing in the background, this place was built because of a love for Call of Duty. Like, a love for COD, a love for Gears, a love for now State of Decay. That's how this space was built, was off of a passion for these types of games. And so I'll always have like a love in my heart for Call of Duty, even when it went from boots on the ground to jetpacks, back to boots on the ground, World War II era, World War I, future, modern. Like, they've gone in so many different directions. And I do believe one day it will be studied, the fact that they were able to churn out a new Call of Duty every year, and it was different from the previous year or years or whatever. Like, it's not Madden, where it's a copy and paste every single year with a couple of new additional plays. Call of Duty has created a new, game where there's a new campaign, new zombies, new multiplayer, maps. Like, you're going from boots on the ground to jetpacks, back to boots on the ground. Like I said, World War I, World War II, futuristic, modern day, and it's been incredible. But I cannot take away from the fact of what Battlefield 6's open beta was able to do in terms of the pure numbers, man. Incredible. Call of Duty's biggest moment on Steam arrived with the series' return to Steam, which coincided with the release of Modern Warfare 2 in 2022. Last year's Black Ops 6 was certainly popular, but the numbers were nowhere near as high as MW2's concurrence, which I have no idea why. It's probably because of the cheating. The cheating in Black Ops 6 was so bad, guys, and the hacking and stuff was terrible. Because Modern Warfare 2, I thought it was okay, but I thought it was like the weakest. I thought it was the worst campaign I've ever seen from Call of Duty, ever. I thought it was absolute trash. But I also thought the multiplayer was okay, but nothing crazy good about it. I don't know. I didn't really think that MW2 was a great Call of Duty. I thought that Modern Warfare 3 was a lot better. But nonetheless, Black Ops 6 I thought was the best COD we've had in a while. I really did. From a multiplayer perspective, even though we didn't have ranked play at launch, even though the hacking, the cheating, the anti-cheat didn't work, so on and so forth, it's a conversation for a different day. But Steam is not the only way to play Battlefield on PC either, so there's likely a contingent of players on EA's own app and the Epic Games Store that do not factor into that peak, to say nothing of players on PlayStation and Xbox. Whichever way you slice it, Battlefield 6's beta figures are impressive. Even if the game's full launch on October 10th does not achieve the same peaks, the rumored free-to-play mode may very well get it there or even beyond. So a free-to-play mode, which is going to more than likely be the Battle Royale mode, Firestorm 2.0 or whatever. Yeah, dude. I'll put it to you guys like this. I would be absolutely shocked to my core if the Battlefield 6 beta does equal or bigger numbers in weekend 2 for the beta. than it did in the first weekend. I think weekend 1, everybody wanted to try it. I think they'll have a dip off with weekend 2. If it goes even further up, then I'm going to be like, okay, maybe there really is something here. But I am assuming it's going to dip off slightly. And then with Call of Duty, with it coming on Xbox Game Pass day 1, I just don't think Battlefield 6 can compete with that. And the Call of Duty reveal trailer got 40 million views. Battlefield 6's reveal trailer has not even reached 10 million yet. So the two games franchises are on different stratospheres. You know, Call of Duty is way up here in terms of the player base, the ravenous fan base that is Call of Duty, and the pure numbers. It's like a cultural phenomenon, kind of like GTA. You know, GTA is an absolute juggernaut of epic proportions. It's going to be a cultural phenomenon unlike anything we've ever seen. Call of Duty is like a percentage of that every year. And so that being said, and with that said, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. How impressed are you with the beta? I mean, I'm unbelievably impressed. I thought the beta has been incredible for the amount of people that are jumping into the servers and things of that nature. But the question is for all of you, does it stand a chance against Call of Duty this year? That's the question everybody's asking. And will it compete with Black Ops 7? Jump down to the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down and out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for joining us for this episode of Horror Theory. And I want to tell you guys this. We are going to be going live here shortly in regard to State of Decay. We're still trying to decide whether we start with State of Decay 1 or State of Decay 2, but nonetheless, we're going to start putting a good amount of grind into the State of Decay games.
Alyssa Wencio.
And so we're very excited about it. And we're going to start with State of Decay. We're going to be also doing Gears of War Reloaded for sure because that comes out later this month. It is the Gears of War Reloaded month, guys. So I'll probably be streaming that primarily on my personal YouTube channel. So you guys can check that out. You guys can check out our channels here. Let me see if I can get over to this. So this is where we're going to be talking about everything in the world of Call of Duty, Battlefield, that's Animal, guys. You guys can certainly go there to check out all that content. And then on my channel is where you can see all the Gears of War stuff. So I'll be probably streaming Gears of War Reloaded and things of that nature all on Animal Zero. And then, of course, Horror Theory is where we're going to be doing State of Decay, State of Decay 3, and then other horror games, including Gears of War as well. But this is where I'm going to be streaming Gears of War Reloaded more than likely. And then all of our, I want to say thank you so much, guys, for all of the new subscribers, all of the new followers. I appreciate each and every one of you guys and girls for joining us. And guys, by the way, if you join the channel, it's $1.99 a month and you get all kinds of really cool stuff. You get some custom emoticons, shout outs in each of our videos. And then we also will be doing gameplay with you, whether it's State of Decay, whether it's other horror games. Really, really excited about that. And we're going to be adding to the memberships as well. Like I said, we're really, really excited about it. But anyways, guys, I hope you all did enjoy this episode of Horror Theory. And if you guys did, I would really appreciate it if you guys would leave us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Stay positive. Just keep grinding. And as always, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, guys.